Education today often suffers from a serious problem. It treats students like empty containers that need to be filled with information. In this system, the teacher is the one who knows everything and the students know nothing. The teacher talks and the students listen quietly. The teacher thinks and decides what is important, and the students just memorize and repeat what they hear. This is called the banking model of education. Like a bank deposit, knowledge is deposited into students. The more they can store and repeat, the better they are seen to be. But this kind of education is not about thinking or understanding. It does not connect to real life or help students grow as human beings. It teaches facts as if they are frozen and disconnected from everyday experiences. For example, students may memorize that 4 times 4 is 16 or the capital of a state is Belem, but they don't really understand what these things mean in real life. Words lose their meaning and power, they become just noise. In this system, students are not encouraged to question or explore. They are trying to obey and adapt to the world as this benefits those in power, the oppressors, because it keeps people from asking difficult questions or challenging unfair systems. When students are made passive and uncritical, they are easier to control. Even well meaning teachers often don't realize they are supporting a system that limits students' ability to think for themselves. True education should be very different. It should not be about one person teaching and the other simply learning. It should be a shared process where both the teacher and students learn from each other. Both should be seen as equals. People think, question, and understand the world together. This kind of education is called problem posing education. In problem posing education, the teacher is not the only source of knowledge. Instead, the teacher helps students reflect on their lives and the world around them. Together, they investigate real problems and seek solutions. The teacher also learns from the students because everyone has valuable experiences and thoughts to share. This method encourages students to become active participants in their education. They begin to understand that the world is not something fixed, it is something they can shape. They start to see themselves not as objects controlled by others, but as subjects who can act and create change. This is how they begin to become more fully human. When people reflect on their own lives, they start to understand the forces that shape their experiences. They might realize, for example, that the struggles they face are not just personal but are caused by bigger social problems. As they become more aware of this, they can begin to take action to improve their lives and their communities. Education should give people the tools to do this. Problem posing education is based on dialogue. It is built on communication, not lectures. It invites students to speak, to question, and to challenge ideas. The goal is not to memorize facts but to understand reality deeply and to think critically about it. Students are not treated as objects of assistance but as thinking individuals who can analyze and transform their world. This kind of education breaks the pattern of domination. It does not try to control people or fit them into a mold created by the power. Instead, it invites people to become their full selves through learning, questioning, and acting. It recognizes that people are unfinished beings who are constantly growing and changing along with the world around them. Education must be ongoing. It must adapt and evolve because both people and the world are constantly in motion. The traditional banking model tries to keep things still under control. Problem posing education accepts change and uses it as a force for liberation. It is about hope and the future. It helps people understand who they are, where they come from, and where they want to go. For education to be truly liberating, it cannot be based on slogans or propaganda. It must be based on reality and on the experiences of the learners. It cannot come from above. It must grow from within the people who are learning. The goal is not just to get more knowledge, but to gain the power to act in the world with awareness and purpose. This kind of education cannot be used by those in power to maintain their control. They fear it because it leads people to question and resist. That is why revolutionary education must reject the banking model entirely. It must be dialogical and based on trust in the people. True education helps people understand that they are not alone. They are part of a world filled with other people. They must work together to make that world better. Liberation is not something that can be given, it must be taken through action and reflection. People liberate themselves by realizing their power to change their lives and the world. Real education is not about transferring information from teacher to student. It is about awakening the desire to learn, to think, and to act. It is about helping people to see their lives clearly and giving them the strength to overcome their conditions. In this way, education becomes a path to freedom, dignity, and humanity.